Mr. Speaker, you mentioned Obamacare, the 40-hour work week. The second paragraph of your op-ed with Mitch McConnell in the Wall Street Journal talked about Obamacare. How do you walk this balance without getting sucked back into that being the predominant issue of the Congress? Or is it the predominant issue when you have new freshmen coming in who have never had the chance to vote no on Obamacare, vote to repeal on Obamacare, and try to tweak this in some way or go for a full repeal?
Obamacare is hurting our economy. It's hurting middle-class families, and it's hurting the ability for employers to create more jobs. And so the House, I'm sure, at some point next year will move to repeal Obamacare because it should be repealed and it should be replaced with common-sense reforms that respect the doctor-patient relationship. Now, whether that can pass the Senate, I don't know. But I know in the House it'll pass. But we're going to pass it. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do other things. There are bipartisan bills that have passed the House, sitting in the Senate, that would, in fact, make changes to Obamacare. You know, there's a bipartisan majority in the House and Senate for repealing the medical device tax. I think there's a bipartisan majority in the House and Senate for getting rid of the IPAB, the Independent Payment Advisory Board, the rationing board in Obamacare. How about the individual mandate? There are a lot of Democrats and Republicans who believe this is unfair. Just because we may not be able to get everything we want doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to get what we can.
You mentioned 3 or 4 different distinctive issues there, potentially votes. Doesn't that siphon this Congress right back into this Obamacare, and then the number gets up into the 60s or 70s in terms of roll call votes against Obamacare?
Listen, there are bipartisan majorities in the House and Senate to take some of these issues out of Obamacare. We need to put them on the president's desk and let him choose.
Mr. Speaker, how do you expect the president to trust that you really want to work together when out of the gate you say that you want to repeal his signature law that you know has no chance of getting a veto-proof majority? How do you expect him to trust you?
My job is to listen to the American people. The American people have made it clear they're not for Obamacare. I asked all those Democrats who lost their elections Tuesday night. A lot of them voted for Obamacare. So my job's not to get along with the president just to get along with him, although we actually have a nice relationship. The fact is, my job is listen to my members and listen to the American people and make their priorities our priorities.
Isn't the idea of repealing Obamacare, third or fourth line in your op-ed today, isn't that in a sense some way poisoning the well from your angle?
No.
When you go to the White House tomorrow?
No. Listen, our job is to make the American people's priorities our priorities. They don't like Obamacare. I don't like it. It's hurting our economy. You know, the president said, I listened to what happened Tuesday night. Really?
How do you know it's hurting the economy, though, sir? How do you...
Well, if you spend as many nights on the road as I have over the last 2 years, you would hear from employers of every stripe, from large to small to medium, in every industry. And when you listen to these employers talk about the concerns they have over what it means for their workforce, what it means for their employees, and you see them hesitate in terms of hiring more people, it's pretty clear to me